This video is for a StarTech Professional VGA to HDMI Video Converter. Some people call it a scaler. The model number is VGA2HDMIPRO. This is not intended to be a review or tutorial or how-to. I have this listed on various online marketplaces, and I just want to show that the one I have for sale is working. If you'd like to see a review, there is a, if you search YouTube for VGA2HDMIPRO, there is a review. One is by a page named Phil's Computer Lab. Now, I do my videos mostly to sell my items, but if you click on the like and the subscribe, it helps me get to the point where YouTube pays me for the videos that I post. Now, what I don't ask you to do is click the bell, because most of my videos are about a particular item and they're usually unrelated items. Okay, so I have a laptop here with a VGA output. So I'm going to connect the VGA to the VGA on the video converter. And I have a monitor here. Okay, but when I plug it in, immediately sees a reaction. And I'm going to plug in the HDMI to the HDMI output. I'm not going to be testing the audio. It has optical and standard audio. I'm going to plug in the HDMI connector and the power. This takes a DC power, 12 volt. I include the 12 volt power adapter with the item. Well, actually it's 5 volt, and it's a compatible but not the original. It's a 5 volt DC adapter. I plug the power in, and the screen should come up. And I'm not an expert on this. I'm just trying to show that mine works, and I've played around with it, and I can't get both of these displays to be the resolution the same, but that's not what I'm here for anyway. The only thing I want, what I will try to do is restart the computer and see if that changes the resolution so they're both the same. Okay, so just to show you the buttons on it, it has a menu button. When you press the menu button comes up on the external monitor. Contrast, brightness, fine-tune, color, size, output, auto, OSD, factory reset. Okay, I'm going to go down to information. And information, you have source PC, input 1600 by 1200, output 1080p it was. Output 1080p 60. Get this 1080p 60 hertz. Version V6. I guess that's the software version or the firmware version for this machine. I'm not too sure if the firmware can be updated or not. Okay, well, since I looked at the menu, now I'm gonna look at the, I'm gonna just do a factory reset. Factory reset. Yes. Okay. Now, as I said, there are YouTube videos with reviews, and I'll put the link on my video, and I may even attach this video to the end of my video. So that's it for the video scaler, or the VGA to HDMI converter. And I will restart this computer just to see if it affects this resolution or changes it. The Dell was already starting up. Nothing on the external monitor yet. Okay, it's PC 1620. Okay, no change, but when I change the resolution on this monitor, when I change go to display settings and let's see, identify. Well, I think this treats it as one monitor. It didn't detect additional display. Okay, so I'm going to go to the resolution. Right now it's on 1366 by 768. I'm gonna change it to something that I've seen it display full screen on this monitor. I believe this setting, but what happens when I change the resolution, the screen size on the laptop changes, and it's not full screen like that. Keep changes. I try a different resolution. For some reason there are only 3 available. May have something to do with the monitor or the box, not sure. 800 by 600. Okay. Now back to 1366 by 768. Okay, and that's it for the VGA2 HDMI Pro by StarTech. Thank you.
Hello everyone, how's it going? Phil here doing another video review. This time I'm reviewing a scaler. It's this product here. It's from StarTech, the professional VGA to HDMI Video Converter. And there's a part number here. It's the VGA2 HDMI Pro. And this is what the scaler looks like. It just comes in in the black metal box. So let's do the inputs first. We have the VGA input here, audio input, either analog or optical, and the power supply goes in there. That LED is just telling you that the power is being supplied. On the back we've got the output, we've got the HDMI output, either optical or analog audio outputs, and then we have 3 menu buttons. When you hit menu, the menu appears, and then with minus and plus you can navigate the menu. What else was in the box? We've got some stuff over here. It comes with a power adapter and various adapters for different countries. So there should be, I know that one is for the UK, that's probably European, and that looks, I think that's American or Japanese, not sure. There was also an audio cable and a VGA cable in the box, and that's the one I use with the Australian adapter. Okay, so let's have a look at the user manual. Put the box aside. So this is the user manual, and quite interesting is it doesn't explain all the features, and that actually took me a while to figure out. I was mucking around with pressing the buttons, and I found it's got a few hidden options. So here it talks about the plus and the minus and the menu button, 3, 4, and 5, and it just says you can navigate to scroll through the different settings, and once you have a setting selected, you can toggle between the setting values. So I did a bit of Google, and I found, also didn't tell you the price. On the website it goes for over just around $250 from the StarTech website, but I got it from eBay. Got a bit cheaper, $154.88 with shipping, so quite a better price. So they're making obviously a huge margin on this product. So I did some Googling, and I found this from the company at Lona, and if you look at the pictures and you compare the scaler, so I'm just hold the scale up here. So here we've got the scaler, and here we've got the pictures. Looks very similar, almost identical. So I don't know who actually makes this product. I've got a hunch it's actually at Lona, and StarTech is just reselling it. But look what they're saying about the menu down here. They're saying, when not using the on-screen display menu, the menu plus and minus buttons have different functions. I'll just turn this a little bit. So when you press minus, it will center the image. So this is like on the monitor where you hit the auto button and it centers the image. So that's actually very, very important, and I'm not quite sure why they didn't mention that. When you press menu and minus, the output resolution will be set to 480p. Now I'm going to walk you through the menu options, so that will make a lot more sense later. And when you press menu and plus, the output will switch to XGA resolution, which is 1024 by 768. So these are just some hidden options in case you've set your scaler to full HD, but you're using a different output device and it can't handle it. You have a little safeguard here just by holding down the menu buttons. And that's really it for the introduction. So you know what this is about and what I'm going to use it for. This is not for presentations or PowerPoints or a home theater. This is for me capturing footage from old computers that only support the VGA output, and especially low resolution stuff. I'm using an AVerMedia Game Broadcaster HD, and it has no problem capturing VGA at 640 by 480 in high resolutions, but what it can't do properly is capture MS-DOS games and the command prompt and BIOS screens. So that's really what I'm going to use this for. High resolution, not sure if you actually need one of these. It's quite a lot of money. There might be cheaper options, or you can just get a capture card that does it natively, like the Game Broadcaster HD. So just want to make sure that you're not wasting your time watching this video. So the main purpose is capturing footage from old computers through the VGA input, and I'll walk you also through all the menu options and see if we notice anything interesting, and then in the end, well, give you a summary and a conclusion of what I think and is it worth getting. As always, all the resources for this video review can be found on my website, philscomputerlab.com. So I put all the manuals up there, not just for the StarTech scaler, but also for the other unit that explains it a little bit better. You'll also find the video there. And just a way of supporting me, check out my website, have a look at the other sections. I've got quite a few videos and reviews, drivers, downloads, all sorts of things. Okay everyone, so let's get started with the review. Now the setup I have is a little bit, well, not complicated, it's just a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna take my time. Hopefully you don't find it too boring, but I wanna make this review as detailed as possible and not leave everything out. Okay, so first I just want to explain you what this is. So this is Rec Central from Ava Media, my capture software, and I usually capture at 1024 by 768. That usually gives me good quality, and it just lets me see what's going on the scaler. Now this is already from the scaler, so the unit is turned on. One good thing about the scaler is even when you disconnect the VGA input, or you turn the computer off, the source computer off that you want to capture from, the scaler keeps doing its thing and your recording never cuts off, so that's quite good. So I'm just gonna start the recording. Let me just make sure that it doesn't do the microphone. Yep, that's fine. I'm gonna start the capture process. There you go. That's ready to go. Now you might already notice that the color is a little bit off. It's not entirely black, and I'm just gonna explain that a little bit more in detail. So I'm just gonna fire up my 386. It's a 386 DX40. I'm just gonna reboot it. There you go. And you can see it's kind of, the blacks are washed out and they're not really as nice as they should be. I might do another reboot. I just won't get into the bias. There you go. And also the colors are a little bit off, and this has to do with the color space. Unfortunately, the specifications didn't mention anything of that. I expected the unit to output in the full RGB standard, which goes from 0 to 255. But this product outputs in the reduced RGB. It's basically the standard that TVs use. So it goes from 16 to 235. So how can you fix that? You gotta fix it with software. So when you've done your capture, you need to use various software to convert the color space. And once I've captured all this stuff, I'm just gonna go back to my other computer and put in, maybe walk you through the process. Okay, so I just want to show you how you can fix a captured video through the that you captured through the scaler. So I'm using AVI DMAX, and what you need to do is the audio output. I'm just gonna set that to PCM, and the video output. So this is basically the encoding thing. I'm just gonna go with XVID for the time being. And what you need to do is go to filters. So here you can change all sorts of things, and I believe it's under colors. AVI Synth color filter, and let's get rid of that. This one here, clip to TV range. And you've got some options here going from PC to TV, or going from TV to PC. I can't remember which one it is, so I'm just gonna try this one first. There's a preview button where you can see if the blacks have changed, and you should be able to already see the difference that this is nice. This is all nice white, and we get clear black at the back. So I'm just gonna close that, and I might just forward this to the same area where I've got the menu here, and we go back to the filters again. I might just move this around so we can see it in comparison. There you go. And that should be quite clear if your monitor is working well. Let's go a bit left. There you go. So the whites here, they're just whiter. It's purer, and the blacks are also blacker. And this is because the color space is now going from 0 to 255 instead of 16 to 235. And yep. Now there are probably other programs that do the same thing. I'm just really used to AVI DMAX. Does the job for me. If you know another tool that can do it, or some other way of fixing this, please let me know. Always eager to learn some new stuff. But this is how I fix it, and that solution works very well for me. Okay, so here we are in the BIOS. The first thing I'm going to do is just a reset, hardware reset. So going to menu, and then I'm just going to go down until the factory reset, and then we press menu once and again. So now it's doing a factory reset, and after a moment the image should reappear. There it is. And the next thing I want to do is set it to XGA output, and a couple of options. So you can use the button shortcut, which is menu plus. So if you hold down menu and plus, it'll go to 1024 by 768, and that's really the output resolution I'm interested in. Okay, so let's have a look at the options. Let's go to menu. We can adjust contrast and brightness. So the way this works, if you want to change the setting of a menu, you just press menu again, and then you have the option to change things. Oh, the other thing I want to show you, let me just get out. So to get out, you go all the way down here and press menu again. The other thing is the image is a little bit off center. You notice on the right side, let me just make this full screen, it might actually be better. So on the right side, there's a little bit too much. On the left side, there's something missing. I might just stop moving the mouse so that the on-screen display goes away. And you could fix that by pressing just the minus button. So pressing minus, you'll see the auto adjust, and the image should now be perfectly centered. So that's really, for me, this is a killer feature. This is just so useful, because if you're working with different computers and it's got an auto adjust button, that is really fantastic. Okay, so go back into menu. Let's have a look. So brightness and contrast, that's fairly straightforward. Fine tune allows you to change the VGA settings. It shouldn't be necessary, because when you auto adjust it, it should adjust everything perfectly. But if you want to manually make some changes, you can do that. So let's go down. Color, you can set red, green and blue values. So that's all standard stuff. Size, that's quite interesting. So here we can change, we can do a bit of an overscan, so it zooms in a little bit. We can do an underscan, so we can see the black border all around. We can letterbox it. We can pan and scan, and full do the same thing. So I usually just go with full. Okay, to get back out, we press menu again, and then we go down. And this is where you can set the output resolution that your scaler uses, and there are a lot of options. There's VGA, SVGA, XGA, and all these options, all the way up to 1080p 60. Interlaced options as well. So if you're hooking this up to a TV, you probably want to go with one of the TV HD resolutions. For example, this one, 720p 60 or 1080p 60. In a computer, I've always stuck to XGA, 1024 by 768. Always had really good results. For some reasons, all the monitors and all the TVs, when you give them 1024 by 768, you always get a really good picture. Okay, then let's have a look at the audio settings. So here we can change the source if it uses the optical or the analog. We can put in a delay. Sometimes the picture is ahead of the picture is delayed and the sound is a little bit ahead, so you can do some adjustments here. That's pretty good. And you can also turn the sound on and off and mute it. I don't really use any sound, so I'm just gonna mute it. I just use my Sound Blaster Titanium HD for analog audio recording. I don't need any digital. Okay, then here we have some on-screen menu options. We can change the position, it's pretty straightforward, of the on-screen display. What else can we do? There's a timer. You notice that the on-screen display disappeared after 10 seconds. So you can adjust it. Let me just see what the limits are. So 5 up to 100 seconds. Yeah? So I just put it back to default. What else can we change? Background, what's this? Okay, so this controls the transparency of the background. You can just put it like that. That's pretty neat. 5. And sometimes you just don't want the on-screen display. I believe you can also turn it off entirely. Off, on, info. Okay, I'll just leave it on. It doesn't really bother me that much. Let's go down, and there's a factory reset information that just tells you what's going on. So the input resolution, that is 720 by 400. Output is XGA. There is the version number, or probably that's the BIOS. And it's got a mirror mode. It's got to flip the image. So, yeah. Okay, it doesn't. It flips it that way. Interesting. Okay. And that is really it. So what I'm gonna do next is just go out. And we're gonna do run some DOS games and just see what the quality is like. So it's still then displaying the on-screen display. Let me just change that. That's probably because I put it to on. Let me just put that to off. There you go. Okay. Oops. Excellent. Okay. So let's try the editor. So just synchronize, auto adjust the image. Make sure it's all centered. There you go. That's all beautiful. Okay, let's try some games. What have I got? Let's try Heart of China. So I'm just going to hit the auto adjust button because I think it's not entirely centered. There you go, that's a lot better. Now everything is nice and clear. So that's all working well. So you can see that why the auto adjust button is so important, because now it's off again. So I'm just going to hit it again and see if it grabs it. So it doesn't. So usually I use the editor. That's a bit easier for the auto adjust to grab onto the signal. Let's try another one. Prince of Persia, that's a classic. Get that. Let's try it again. Okay, so it seems that image is not good enough. Let's try this one. There you go. Yeah. So sometimes you have to try a different DOS game or a different image to auto adjust your VGA input. Okay, and one more. Good old Monkey Island 2. Yep, so that's all working well. Just gonna do a quick reboot and go back in the BIOS. Hit the auto adjust. So yeah, what do I think? I'm really happy. A bit annoyed about the color space issue. I emailed the tech support from StarTech, but they were pretty useless. Like one person came back to me and said he's just forwarding it to more technical people, but yeah, never heard back to them. But as soon as I found out how to correct the color space using the video editors, it's really handy. What I really like the auto adjust button for the VGA. That's a lifesaver, and that's something for me that's a killer feature. And I also like that it scales any input to 1024 by 768. That means my recordings, they don't get cut off or they don't stop. That's very important when you do voice commentary. Make sure everything is in sync. And I can even switch between different computers using a KVM, or unplugging the computer, turning it off, and it continues scaling without any issues. So that's really good. Hopefully I covered everything. If I missed anything, please leave me a comment. I'll do my best to follow up. But hopefully you've got a good idea of what this product is like and what it can do. And I showed you all the menu options. So I'm pretty pleased, and hopefully you are as well.